Welcome back. Defense in air hockey is critical to competitive success. One of the most frequent comments I see online is a question about why professional players have their mallet so far away from the goal. In fact, that inspired this video where I'm going to show you the best defensive strategies to keep the puck out of your goal. Let's get into it. To start, air hockey is like any other sport in the sense that there is an optimal physical form. That's not to say that every player must stand exactly the same way. Clearly, there are different body types which require adjustments to defensive basic form. For instance, if you're over 6'3", you'll likely need to adjust your stance on defense. But there's some general guidelines based on 50 years of competitive experience that demonstrate more efficient positions in physical form. Let's look at proper defensive form from the ground up. I'll describe everything from the right-handed player's perspective. Left-handed would be the opposite. First, you want to position your right knee and/or thigh up against the table in order to stabilize your body. Stagger your legs apart and try to stand on the balls of your feet. You want to be on the balls of your feet because it helps you lunge out to grab loose pucks faster than if you were caught flat-footed. Taller players should stagger their feet further apart than shorter players so they can get their body and their eyes down lower. This helps eliminate an issue where a player is too high and hunched over, looking more downward than they are across the table, leaving them more open to power under the mallet banks. You want your torso to be centered, not hunching forward past the goal and not leaning backward. Place your left hand firmly on the rail, just to the side of the goal. This also helps keep you stable, securing your stance and helping you not overreact. Finally, hold your mallet out so that the front of it is about 20 to 22 inches out in the middle of the table. Now imagine there's a triangle on your side of the table with the top being centered where you're holding your mallet out. When you're defending, you're trying to predict what your opponent is about to shoot against you. If it's a straight shot, you want to hold your position out there. If it's a bank shot, you want to pull back to the left or right corners of the triangle, depending on which rail the shot's coming from. Notice the reason you don't hold your mallet all the way back against the goal is because of how large the holes become. Easy targets for pro-level offense. And look at how much angle is cut off against straight shots as you push out away from the goal. The same concept happens on banks, and it's why you are training yourself to not pull all the way back to your goal when you want to block a bank. If you pull all the way back, you leave a massive hole open for the over the mallet side. But if you pull back to the corner of your imaginary triangle, you cut off both the under the mallet bank and the over the mallet bank. A perfectly accurate shot may still score, but a solid defense is simply trying to cut off as much of the angle as possible. A couple other notes. When you're waiting on defense, you want to have a little movement of your mallet in your body. Not a ton, but enough to be ready to react, similar to the way a tennis player is getting ready to receive a serve from the opponent. Holding perfectly still can make it very difficult to react in time. Top defenses have a little rocking motion as they watch the opponent set up, but then they tend to settle right before the shot comes at them. Also, you need to be recentering based on where the opponent has the puck on their side. If the opponent is setting up the puck on the far right, you need to subtly pull over toward that side to keep the straight shot cut off. If you hold perfectly in the center, a player can snap in straight shots behind your mallet from the sides. Finally, developing a high-level defense takes a lot of repetition and mental focus in order to train your reflexes to pull to the correct locations. It's tough when we're trying to react super fast, but not overreact. Plus, sometimes we're trying to not react at all. To help yourself train, you're going to want to play against offenses that challenge you and force you to raise the bar. So find local players or start up a group in your area if you don't have one. There are two great Facebook groups you can join: the Forum for Competitive Air Hockey Players and Next Gen Air Hockey. Log in, join the groups, and just ask for players in your area. You may be surprised that there are groups out there that are looking for more players. So until next time, keep practicing. And we know air hockey's small, but it doesn't have to be. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing, do all the internet things, and let's spread the word as we try to keep growing the competitive sport of air hockey.